Today I am in talk with Ambassador Yeukai Tshwanelo, joining us from Australia.
Hello, Hasina. Thank you so much for this privilege. Disability is not an inability. I am the voice to the voiceless.
Hello and welcome to WGF iTalks. Today I am in talk with Ambassador Yeukai Tshwanelo, joining us from Australia. She is the Mrs. Australia Legacy International 2024, CEO of Corporate Healthcare Group, and an ambassador for the WHC in both Australia and Zimbabwe. Ambassador Yeukai is a remarkable blend of entrepreneur, author, and medical professional. She has been honored by Forbes Australia and the New York Times Journal, and is the co-author of the empowering book, Fierce and Fabulous. Beyond her achievements, she is deeply committed to charity work, especially through her initiative, A Gift of Mobility, raising funds to provide wheelchairs for children in need. Her platform, Mrs. Australia Legacy International, is more than a title. It's a mission. Through it, she advocates for disabled children in impoverished communities, working to raise awareness around wheelchair poverty and promote inclusivity for all, regardless of physical ability. Her leadership journey has been empowered by her empathy and service, driving inclusive policies, partnering with the stakeholders, and inspiring change in communities that need it most. Hello, Ambassador Yeukai. How are you today?
Hello, Hasina, and thank you so much for this privilege to be with you here today.
Most welcome. In this conversation, we'll take a deep dive into your journey, your passions, your perseverance, your purpose. We will explore how your experiences shaped your vision, the challenges you turned into stepping stones, the victories you celebrated, and your unwavering commitment to making a difference. Our goal is to gather colors and shades of your life and paint a portrait that will inspire our viewers, especially those who look for hope, strength, and direction through stories like yours. So let's begin, please.
Thank you.
First of all, please tell us about yourself in your own words for our viewers.
Thank you. My name is Yeukai Tshwanelo. I am also known as Pastor Yeukai, and I am the ambassador for the WHCs to Australia and to Zimbabwe. WHC is the World Humanity Commission, and I stand in there as an ambassador for the rights of humanity. I grew up in Zimbabwe, in a beautiful town called Harare, which is known as the Sunshine City. And I then moved to Australia over 20 years ago. So Australia is now where I call home. I am a citizen of Australia, and I have two beautiful children and a wonderful husband. I'm so passionate about a disability. As a medical professional, this is my area of expertise, and I've seen a lot of gaps that people with a disability go through. So disability is not an inability, and so I am the voice definitely to the voiceless. And I'm really passionate about modeling. I have a modeling career from when I was young, and now I incorporate beauty with a purpose. So I love cooking. I love to cook a very beautiful meal and try different things. And I also love tennis as a hobby. And in the corporate world, I am the CEO, female CEO of our organization. And so I also like to empower women, knowing that as a woman, you can also achieve your goals and you can also raise a healthy family. So that's a little bit about myself. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ambassador Yeukai.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear your journey in your own words. It's so grounded, so full of purpose. Your story already sets the tone for an inspiring conversation today.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about something that brought you global recognition. You are the winner of Mrs. Australia Legacy International 2024. Please share your experience of pageant. What all did you do to prepare for it? What all went through your mind during all the stages of the pageant? How did you feel after winning the title of Mrs. Australia Legacy International 2024?
Thank you very much. So I started my journey in 2023 towards the end of the year for Legacy International, where I first signed up as a finalist. I actually, at that time, I was looking for something where I could give back. I looked at my portfolio and I felt very fulfilled. I looked at what I had been doing in my workplace. I own my own company as a CEO and owner of corporate healthcare services, and I was fulfilled. But I wanted to do something that would leave a living legacy for even my children. And so I came across Legacy International, which is not only a pageant that focuses on beauty, but building a legacy that will echo through time. And so when I'm no longer around, the legacy will live on. And so I thought, what a beautiful way to do it now. I was turning 40. And I remember from earlier on in my career, I always wanted to have a very big 40th birthday. As they say, life begins at 40. But something stirred in me that I wanted to leave a legacy. And so I signed up. And of course, I then went on that journey. With everything that I do, I always put my best foot. I always work hard, as I was taught by my mother, who was a very hardworking woman. So I watched from a distance, watching her working very hard for the family, being supported by her husband, my father, to achieve her goals and her dreams. So I believed that nothing is impossible. The world is my oyster. And as long as I put in the effort, as long as I work hard, I will achieve my dream. And so I saw myself as a queen with a purpose. And my mission was to put disability on the map, to raise an awareness of wheelchair poverty. That wheelchair poverty, when you think about just the simple things like you and I, if we feel like we need to go and get something to eat, we just, walk to the kitchen and get something to eat. But there's some people, especially in impoverished communities, that do not understand disability. Disability is like a family has been cursed. And so those children need someone to literally lift them up. And it doesn't matter how heavy they are, but they have to lift them up and go to the kitchen just for those basic things. Being able to access healthcare that we easily access, being able to access education. And so I went on with this mission, which is mobility, raising a light on mobility. I then went on the global stage and I prepared for that stage with a lot of preparation, eating right. As you know, it's important to also prepare. So I ate right, I exercised, I did all the course of action. And so I'm very thankful that our pageant is also very structured. And so there was a structure of things that help you to build your confidence, both spiritually, physically, emotionally. And so I was prepared. And I'm so grateful that the question that I was then asked on that day was actually a conviction. I asked myself that beyond this crown, am I actually going to do the things that I have set to do? And so it was a conviction that, yes, behind this crown, I am going to put my best foot forward for another person, where I put myself aside and put someone else before me. And for me, it was those children. And so I won the title on that very amazing day. The emotions that came on me are emotions that I live with every single day that give me purpose. It was amazing. It was a dream come true. And it was a dream that I had as a young girl. And to be able to achieve this at 40, it shows that age is just a number. And time, there's no better time. Just as long as you dream, you have a dream. And I also come from a spiritual background. So with my Christian faith, I knew that God was on my side. I knew that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I went on this journey. And academically, I also prepared, I researched and made sure that I knew the statistics of what I was speaking about, because I knew that I would go in rooms where there will be people who will be able to help, but they sometimes want to know the statistics. They also want to know that, do I know what I'm talking about? And so I researched. I then began my first tour in Botswana, and I was received with a great reception. The culture of Botswana is so rich. On my welcome, I had the traditional dancers of Botswana come, and they did a beautiful dance. And that's where I had the first engagement with the people. They had some people with disabilities also come along, and it was amazing to see that they looked in my eyes with conviction that finally someone has come to be a voice for us. And so I was very privileged to be able to have people in my team that prepared my tour. And so I sat down with people in government. I also sat down with the community. I attended the very first ever International Wheelchair Day in Botswana, which was fabulous. And I've then toured through Dubai. I've toured through Zimbabwe, and of course here in Australia. And the one message is wheelchairs for children. So I've partnered with an organization here called Wheelchair for Children. And so the wheelchairs are actually ergonomically made for children in impoverished communities. And so I'm very grateful for this journey. I'm grateful even when I sit back, I think about the beautiful faces of some of the people that I have come across. And it's been an inspirational journey even for myself. And I'm grateful for all my sponsors and my supporters in this journey. And my director, who has also been rallying behind me to make this bigger than myself. And so now I have a team of volunteers, and we are actually now building a special school in Botswana. So we've partnered with the government of Botswana and volunteers, where we are building a special school. And so in the very near future, it's gone beyond wheelchairs. It's now gone to a school for children with special needs. I spent some significant time with the principal there and the children, and their heart is just amazing. So disability is not an inability. I look forward to seeing some professionals that will come from that vocational school. I look forward to seeing some of the children graduate and doing really marvelous things. So yeah, it was an amazing tour. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank
That's truly amazing, and so well deserved. Your
Thank you.
journey, your journey through the pageant reflects not just confidence and grace, but a deep inner commitment to something greater than yourself.
Yes.
And that leads me perfectly to something even more powerful that you are doing right now. You have been on a world tour gifting wheelchairs to children in need. Please share about your project.
Yes, thank you. So there is a warehouse that is based in Perth, Western Australia, where the wheelchairs are actually manufactured. So the process starts where the children are measured by a physiotherapist. So the wheelchair is actually, it grows up with the child. So once the wheelchair is measured for the child, it grows up with the child. It's then packaged in a way that is put in a box and can easily be assembled in these communities. And my reach was the impoverished communities where the terrain is not so good. So they don't have tarred roads like in the city, and they have gravel. So the wheelchairs are ergonomically made so that the child can be pushed through all sorts of terrain, even if it's raining. and it's been raining, and you know how the soil can become very damp. These wheelchairs are able to maneuver through different terrain. And the organization here in Australia, they've put so much effort, the engineers have put so much effort into doing a lot of research, and it's just amazing. So I actually got to meet one of the recipients of one of the first wheelchairs recipients in Botswana at the Wheelchair Day. And he's actually become a musician now because he was able to be gifted with the gift of mobility. And so he sang on that day, and I saw the wheelchair that he was given as a young boy, and now he was over 20 years old. And so the wheelchairs are very robust. And it was really good to see. So yes, the warehouse is a big warehouse, which is run by volunteers in Western Australia, and the wheelchairs are free. So all the funds for these wheelchairs come from donations from donors all across Australia and even internationally, which makes it possible to help these families in impoverished communities. And so we've made much progress as I've partnered with a big organization and continue to put a footprint in many different countries. Thank you.
What a beautiful initiative and
Yeah.
truly heartwarming. It's inspiring to see how your platform is directly touching lives and creating real change. And alongside this, you also lead in the professional world with equal passion and drive.
Yes.
You are also the Chief Executive Officer of Corporate Healthcare Group, Australia. Please share about the Corporate Healthcare Group and your responsibilities in the group.
Thank you very much. Corporate Healthcare Group was founded in 2008, and we are a disability service provider. So we have homes all across Australia that are purpose-built. So they're specialist disability accommodation. So they're purposely built for a person with a disability to be able to help them build capacity. So our homes are built in such a way that the bench tops are low enough so that someone with a disability can sit and actually cook. I love cooking. So I love to see some of the participants that live in our homes that have an equal passion as I do, and they're able to cook, they're able to build capacity in the different goals that they have for their lives. I have a team of support workers that work closely alongside myself. And I always had a passion of imparting into the next generation, because I feel as a professional, if you don't impart in the next generation, it ends at you. And so I have a team that we work so closely with that now I do not need to be there. They have replicated the passion that I have and replicated it in themselves. Some have then gone on to further their education and grown up within the organization. And it's been amazing to see them take supervisor roles. We start from education, and so we partner with education bodies, and the students come in and do a placement. And I always share that you should inspire the next generation that they want to be better than you. And so we have a 98% rate of retention of our staff because we look at a staff member as a whole. We know that they have a family. We know that they have friendships. So there's a very good work balance and working within a team where they feel supported, but at the same time, they are autonomous to be able to come in with creative ideas and be the best versions of themselves. In the board, we also have directors that are equally passionate that are very people that are very well educated and have been given the opportunities to advance. We always do reflective practice. So every morning we come together as a team and reflect that how can we do better as an organization? How can we reach further as an organization? How can we also reach the unreached? And so here in Melbourne, we've strategically positioned ourselves where we have, I should not say alone, because it's a team effort, being able to then get recognition from Forbes Australia as change makers. And so I'm grateful that as the face, I get to go in all these wonderful articles, but I've got a team, an amazing team behind me that also have now given me the privilege to do what I am so passionate about in extending our organization, where we've now been able to reach to philanthropy as well. Recently, we have also then been given a privilege to support children in Malawi, where we hope to also impart the importance of education. I'm grateful that I had a strong mother who taught me that it's good to be passionate about something. It's good to have a dream and go for it. And so in my dream, I had that passion, I had the support of also wonderful friends. I've been so blessed to have wonderful friends and wonderful organizations like your organization, Hasina, that have given me platforms like in Dubai. It was amazing winning an award and being in Dubai. And so for my employees, they have been inspired to also be part of organizations like WGF. And I'm very grateful for all the support. It makes the world of a difference, and it gives you the drive to keep on going. And so, yeah, we're a wonderful team. We're more like a family, and we are multicultural. So we have people from many different backgrounds, from as far as Nepal to the Philippines. We have some Filipinos in our organizations, Australians, Botswana, just multicultural. And so I have a dream to pioneer corporate healthcare services, one of the best healthcare providers in Australia. And in my 5 long-term goals are to then hand the baton on to another CEO while I go more into philanthropy, because philanthropy is my heart. The people are my heart. And being a pastor as well, I would like to spend more time, in the spiritual, doing spiritual things and helping people. So to all my team, I'm very grateful for all the hard work that you put in. It's a team effort. And we look forward to more recognition, reaching more lives and more impact.
Thank you for giving us that insight into your role as a CEO. And I believe in so many ways we hold similar thoughts. Your
Yeah.
philosophy and mine, I believe that we have similar thoughts.
Very much so, yes.
It's impressive how you manage such a demanding position while staying committed um, to so many meaningful causes.
Yes.
And now I would like to move to a subject that touches countless lives across the world. Uh, Societies and nations are built through collective efforts. You can't ignore a section of people based on their religion, caste, color, or beliefs. People of color constitute a sizable portion of any society or any nation and contribute equally to the success of global economy, global politics, or global society. Still, discrimination on various bases exists. Please share any personal or professional challenges you may have faced in life because of your skin color and how you overcame them.
Thank you very much. Earlier on in my career, this was when I was not as bold as I am now, because now I have, such strength in the little things that have then grown up to be the big things that I have achieved. But I remember earlier on being in university, that was back then, few number of years ago, and I remember that there was the expectation that being an international student, not being from Australia, um, I had to work that extra harder. So I remember my clinical placement being put in ICU. And as a student, it's an overwhelming environment. And I remember on one of my first days, one of the people that were mentoring me came along and they asked me to interpret an ECG. I had never learned this. I was not at the stage of learning that. And the rage that came out when I said, I'm sincerely sorry, but I do not know how to interpret this, but I'm going to make the efforts to go and learn about it. And it wasn't received very well. It was received with so much rage and all of that. And so I went away, and it could have broken me. It could have made me become afraid to say, I'm not going to show up the next day. And I nearly did. And I remember my husband then saying to me that you never quit, you never give up. You go there and show them love, that regardless of what has taken place, love is the answer. And just like Mahatma Gandhi said, that love is the answer to so many problems that we have in the world. And so I went back the next morning when I shouldn't have. I was afraid. I did go and read a little bit on the ECGs. And I said a little prayer that, God, when I go back, just give me the strength. And so I went back and I was very bubbly. And I spent a lot of my time on the bedside with the patients doing history taking. And I recall that there was a patient who had a problem and they had not shared it with anyone. But because I had built that rapport with them, that love, I was able to share that situation. And when I went to raise an alarm, it actually saved their life. And so a situation that could have been drastic, that could have been very terrible, turned out to be really good. And I remember after that placement, the same person came to me and said, you are an amazing person and you're going to do amazing things. And so what I took away from there is love. Love. It doesn't matter how other people treat you, but you should have that ability to know who you are, that irregardless of how other people see you, but how you portray yourself to other people is more important. So love is definitely a solution. And because of that very difficult situation, because it was something that was very shaking, I think it has shaped me to be the woman that I am today, the bold woman that I am, now I am not afraid to walk in, a crowd of people and speak what I'm so passionate about. My voice could have been silenced if I had believed the lies that were being spoken, if I had belittled myself, if I had thought that I'm insignificant because of my color, because I'm a woman, because I'm young. But no, I can do all things because of Christ that's inside of me. And not only that, because I know that by me saying yes and putting my foot forward, I'm saying a yes for so many other girls. I'm saying a yes for so many other people that one day they can dream again.
Thank you for sharing that so openly.
Thank you.
Your courage and clarity are deeply moving, and they truly help others feel seen and heard. Uh, Now, I would like to shift the focus to another powerful layer of your identity, your journey as a woman in spaces where the path isn't always fair or easy. I'll ask you the next question as a fellow woman to highlight our specific challenges, which generally only we are able to understand. We have to fight double to make our own space, our own identity, our own destiny, and our own successes. Has your experience been different? If yes or no, how? And what ordinary or extraordinary did you do to make way for yourself and then to announce that you have arrived?
Thank you so much. Yes, this is such a powerful and very important question, Hasina, and thank you for that. I recall when I was still working in the hospital in corporate, and I was a manager for an operating theater. So in that operating theater, we had very strong male personalities, and everything was wonderful up until I fell pregnant. When I suddenly felt pregnant, I could see that the first thing was I'm going to disadvantage the organization because I'm going to need to take maternity leave. But secondly, because I had morning sickness on the onset of my pregnancy, I couldn't stand the smell of blood in the operating theater. And so I couldn't be on the floor as active as I was before. So I had to be in my office more. And I needed the support of others more on the early onset of my pregnancy. I then had to take a lot of sick leave because the early onset of that pregnancy was difficult, and it's the first time I felt as a woman very disadvantaged. But later, I looked at this journey when I then spoke up and said, "Look, I spoke to my manager, and I had to really speak up with boldness that, I have confidently also trained other very qualified people." Within that or within my team. So maybe it was time now to give them an opportunity while I'm unwell, to give them that space and that opportunity. I remember one of the head surgeons then very angry, extremely angry that now we are going to cause, our team, cause a shift in our team and in all of those things. But I spoke up for myself. I spoke up for what I believed in. I did not put too much pressure on myself because I knew that my thriving baby needed me to be in the best state that I needed to be in. Yes, I was a career woman, and yes, I loved my career. And yes, at some point I felt the pressure that I should just, hang in there. But eventually my husband was very supportive as well. And at some point he could not get it because sometimes men, they don't really understand because they don't get the morning sickness. They don't get the comfortability that you can't sleep. I haven't slept all night and there's no way I can wake up very early to go into a busy operating environment. But with the support of my mother, I opened up to her and told her exactly how I was feeling. And with her support, she encouraged me that, you know what, this is a season that you need to enjoy, that thriving baby, you've got life inside of you. And look at the gift of life. She said, this is something that only I get to experience, that my husband doesn't get to experience, life. And I knew that I had to be positive for my baby. I knew that I had to put my career on pause for my child. And I had to look at it like this was a positive season. And so in that time of my sick leave, while I was at home, I rested much. I closed off the thoughts of work and even the temptation of quickly going back before I was ready to go back. And when I was at the time where the doctors cleared me to say it's safe enough for me to go back, but only on lighter duties. And so as a family, we readjusted things where we didn't need to spend so much, we cut back. Where we had, the things which we could shift that would allow me that time to be at home practically. And I was grateful for that moment. So when I went back, I didn't go back to the full role that I was doing then. I spoke up to my immediate managers before going back that this is my capacity now. And during that time, I also made sure that as I was going to then go to maternity leave, I had imparted on other people. So I allowed the team members around me to help me. I then sewed into their career, which some of them, because I then stepped aside, some of them became managers. Another person then stepped into my role. And I look back now because I spoke to them recently, and the things that they have managed to achieve, because I also then looked at my situation that it's now time to hand over the baton. And so during my maternity leave, that's when I decided to upskill myself. I decided to go back to study. While my child was sleeping, I would rest, and in between, I would study. And during that time, I then went to do my MBA and began to study. And through meeting other professionals, I was then inspired to start my own business. I thought, well, if I've been managing someone else's business so well, and I've been doing this with a dignity, integrity, and we have been seeing the numbers in our organization. The hospital grew, extended to having an ICU, extended to being able to take very critical patients. And I thought, I'm going to put this into something of my own. And that's the best decision that I made, because it gave me not only financial freedom, but it gave me the freedom to raise my second child without having to ask for maternity leave from anyone, without having to feel when I was unwell, I could just shut down for that moment. And of course, being in business is different, but you gain back time. You gain back that quality time that I could spend with my child. So for my second child, it was very different to my first pregnancy and everything that came with that. So that was a setback that seemed like a setback, which should not have been a setback, but just because of being a woman and having in a very strong male dominated organization. And the surgeons I worked with then were very powerful men, I should say, because it was one of the best hospitals. It's one of the best hospitals here in Melbourne, and the hospitals that are led by researchers, by very powerful people. So, but I'm grateful just for that opportunity. So, if you are a woman and you're listening to me now, it may be a different situation, but maybe similar. I just want to encourage you that don't give up. You need to be bold. You need to speak up for yourself. You need that still voice inside of you. You need to be bold and know that you can do it. You can do it as a woman. You can do it. You can achieve your goals. And if you need to take a pause, that's not the end. You can reinvent yourself. I've never seen a woman who's not creative. I mean, we carried life inside of us. And in our homes, we are the engineers, we are the doctors. When there are no doctors awake, you know it when your child is not well. You know when things are not quite right. You raise the alarm bells in your home. So if you need to take a break, then be creative. Look for a hobby, do something else, use your hands, try again, reinvent yourself, because that's not your bus stop. You know, as women, we also are run by a lot of hormones. Women are very emotional. So I also come across a lot of women that have lost hope and find themselves being depressed and lost hope. But I want to encourage you, if you're watching today, that do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. Dream again. Believe in yourself. You can start from nothing, and God will make a way, and you can dream again. The right connections will come. The right opportunities will come as long as you do not give up. Thank you.
What a powerful reflection. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for that.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Your story is a reminder of how strength is often forced through struggle, and how every step forward matters. And speaking of empowerment, let's now talk about your inspiring contribution to literature. Uh,
Yes.
you are the co-author of the book Fierce and Fabulous, which has already inspired many around the world. Please tell us what the book is about, what message it carries, and what inspired you to contribute to it. How was your experience co-authoring it, and what kind of impact do you hope it makes on its readers?
Thank you so much. Fierce and Fabulous is actually a book which is so close to heart for me. We came together as 16 women, and we were living in a country town. And in the country town where we lived, it was a town where they didn't really believe that women a woman can be a businesswoman. It was more because it was a farming town. What was attuned in that town was for the woman to be in the home raising the children. And so we came together as women that wanted to change the narrative. It's a memoir, a personal memoir of my journey that came from struggle to triumph. And the other women in that book have got a personal story to tell about their life overcoming so many challenges. We have women that overcame depression, women that overcame the, having a business in a place where it's not common for a woman to have a business, but standing strong and then gaining the support of the community, gaining the trust of the community. So it's a memoir that is dedicated to women, that as a woman, you can do it regardless of your circumstance. We all are not given a silver platter. We all do not have opportunities, but you can create an opportunity. So it's a story of a personal journey. I remember, what I've shared a bit in there of how I then got into mining. So I do actually do mining in Africa, in Zimbabwe. And I was inspired by another woman. This was a woman in a male-dominated industry who had spoken to me that, you can invest. And she gave me that determination to be able to do that. So it's a memoir. It's a beautiful book that will make you cry, that will make you laugh, that will give you inspiration after reading it. I don't want to tell too much about it because I'd love to encourage the readers to go and look for Fierce and Fabulous, The Feminine Force to Success. And so it's a memoir to all women that there is a feminine force that we all carry as a woman inside of us. It's the same force that has given you that nurturing ability to raise your children, to stand beside your husband for some women, or to be in the corporate environment. So they're wonderful, powerful 16 stories from homemakers, business women. There is a woman for someone that you can reflect on and say, hey, that's my story, from trials to triumph. And so we toured around Australia, and the book has actually reached many different places all around the globe. And we're very, very grateful and hoping that we'll be able to come together as the 16 women again for, to now look back on what we've achieved. We've all grown from that book. We've all gone on to do even bigger things. The woman who came up with the idea, Nkandu Bells, she's actually one of the biggest copper miners in Zambia as a woman. And she's doing very great things there. And so that's just a little bit of a snippet. But yes, and I look forward to gifting you this book, Hasina.
I would like to, I really look forward to reading, your book. I have been, gifted with books from different parts of the world. Like when we talk, we discuss, and then, receiving the book, finally getting to read, it's more inspiring.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Whatever you have shared is really inspiring, and thank you for sharing the heart behind the book.
Thank you.
Stories like yours not only empower others, they remind us of the strength we carry within. And behind every strong woman is often a strong support system. So let's now talk about the people closest to you. Who all are in your family? How important is family for you? Who supports you the most in your personal and professional life?
Thank you so much. I'm very privileged to have a very supportive husband where we really complement each other. His strengths are actually my weaknesses, and my weaknesses are actually his strength. And together we are a powerful collaboration. Early on in our marriage, navigating through marriage was a bit difficult on the early onset, but having then navigated that, we actually complement each other. And so focusing on like his strengths and my strengths, we've then come together to a very powerful collaboration. My mother has been my biggest cheerleader from when I was a very little girl. She's held my hand. She's inspired me to be the woman that I am. She's inspired faith in me. She taught me my belief at a very young age. And even until date, she is my biggest cheerleader. She's always there on the other line. Whether it's hard, whether it's easy, she is always there. And I thank God for my amazing mother. My sisters have been my best friends, people I can share my secrets with. They've been inspirational in my career. They've, always looked up to me, even though I'm the youngest, but they've looked up to me, and I have held that position in my family with grace and very opportune for that. My brother, my younger brother as well. I have amazing friends. I have amazing colleagues, where even today, even many different, from many different aspects, like the dress I'm wearing today is actually from one of my very good friends, a Young Designers Gallery, and Anu. Yes, so for my appearances, I wear, I support their businesses. My makeup was done by my now personal makeup artist, Ajoa, who's also a very close friend. And all these people are inspirational. So as I went out today, say, I'm going to be on, WGF with Hasina today. They were so excited for me. I have a group of very close friends, Nkandru Bells, who we co-authored Fierce and Fabulous with, and many other wonderful girls. Fran, who's also now joined to be a pageant queen. And so it just gives me that person to also impart into. I'm also part of Business Networks, the Australian Business Council here. And I get also invaluable knowledge for my business to make sure that I keep on growing. My faith, I belong to a wonderful church, Planet Shakers, which is an amazing church, and I go there every Sunday and just be revived with faith. They are also a church that are philanthropic, so we're always out helping other people, and our business is no longer just about me. It's about other people. Wheelchair, the organization I work with, Wheelchair for Kids, the people there are amazing. When I feel tired, I just think about the memories that I've spent in that warehouse and just seeing the faith, where people, they've got nothing to gain from this, but just wanting to help another person. That has just been really amazing. And being part of WGF, I remember coming to Dubai, World Growth International Forums, coming to Dubai for that conference, and the opportunities that actually came from that conference were amazing. And I look forward for more collaborations and being on the platforms that you give to a woman like me. It's amazing. So yeah, this is just in a nutshell, because there are just so many. The teachers for my children, they have understood that I have to travel, being on a reigning queen, and it's amazing to receive a personal note from my child's school teacher, asking, is there any prayer that we can pray for you or your children? They're always there to give them support. My little one, the youngest one, struggled a little bit in school, for a little bit adjusting, and the teachers made it so easy. And so just those relationships have made it possible for me to go on and do so much for others. And that's why I just also want to give back, because there's so many people who are rallying behind me, my team at Corporate Healthcare Services. And yeah, that's my support group. So it's important to be around like-minded people who also believe in you, who believe in your dream, people that push you, people that inspire you. And I know this interview was a long time coming, but I'm so grateful for a person like you, Hasina, who keeps on reminding me that this has to go out. There are people who need to hear this. There are people who will be inspired by this, and there are people whose lives will be transformed. And they need to know about forums like WGF, World Growth International Forum. They need to know about platforms like this. And so I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And I know that there are lives that will be touched just by even what you're doing, and what you've impacted in my life. And so I'm very grateful. And part of that is also what has then given me the recognition to be an ambassador. It's a dream that I always had. And so having organizations that I've partnered with have boosted up my profile. And that's where I have then been given this wonderful opportunity to be an ambassador for a big cause, which is humanity. So it's now not only limited to wheelchairs, people in wheelchairs, it's humanity. It's every person that struggles with whatever struggle, medical struggle, spiritual struggle, just not being able to get food, education, it's now a bigger cause. And so I'm grateful for the platforms as well that I have been able to be on. And truly, this is a living testament which is spoken for itself. So I'm grateful for your organization as well, what you've poured into my life that has been able to impart impact, that now I get to go on the global field as an ambassador, but there's so many other steps that have taken place behind the scenes. So thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear. You know,
Thank-
it's great to know that our World Growth Forum's Global Business and Investment Forum,
Yes,
participated last year, has impacted your life positively. That's really great, and it's really kind of you that you have mentioned that yes, it has impacted you. So good to know about it.
yes, yes, it has definitely.
Thank
Yes,
you very much. The love and support of your family, truly form the backbone of so many life journeys. Now let's go a little deeper. It's
yes.
into the core of what drives you every single day. What is your inspiration in life? What makes you get up from bed in the morning, consistently give your best throughout the day, and dream for a better world? A world full of better people, and maybe a world where every human being is happy, content, and successful.
I would say number one is my faith, my belief. There's one of my favorite verses, which I hope to share, which is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I alone know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and prosper you. So every morning as I recite that verse, it gives me a reminder that I'm here for a greater purpose. I was just not placed in this earth, but I'm here for a bigger purpose. And that purpose is great and bigger than myself and greater than myself. My other drive is my children. My children give me the strength to go that extra step forward when I see them, because, for children, it doesn't come with a manual. You don't come with a manual as how they will turn out. It doesn't come with a manual for the times where they're not well. It doesn't come with a manual where, their grades are not doing as what you really want them to. But they are my inspiration to keep on going forward. And so everything I do for them. My business is a legacy for the family. And so we have involved them in our organization. So they actually have dreams now of what they want to do, what they personally want to do within our organization. I've taken them on Legacy International journey, and they've been part of serving people. And so their heart is also to give back. And that's just the one seed that I wanted them to really grasp on, that there's so much more that you can do for others, and you actually gain more by giving than receiving, and that they can dream whatever it is that they want to do. They can dream, they can believe, and they can achieve. And that's one of my biggest drive. And of course, my husband has been so selfless. He has been so inspirational. At times, he's also given up, his dreams so that I can also go forward. And so they're the three main important things in my life, and of course, my family as well.
That's truly inspiring. Your passion and clarity of purpose uh, are deeply moving. And now
Yeah.
let's take a moment to imagine something powerful. If the
Yeah.
world were in your hands, if
Mm.
you had absolute power, which three things would you change in the world?
The three things that I would change, the first one is I would want women to dream and believe in themselves. It's amazing to be a mother. It's amazing to be married. It's amazing to achieve all these things. But the one thing is knowing that you can do something. Just as that scripture which I shared, Jeremiah 29, verse 11, for I alone know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you. So my heart is to see women prospering, being their authentic selves, dreaming, and being in boardrooms, whatever space they want to be, without limiting themselves. knowing that they can dream. You can dream for your family. You can dream and achieve those goals. The second dream I would have is for children in that have got a disability. I would love for more children to be reached. I would love for more people to, come on board and support vulnerable people in the world. So thinking about your neighbor, thinking about that next person, thinking about the person with a disability, and doing whatever little you can do, in your communities. And third, I would really love to see myself helping in Malawi. Yes, and I'm really believing that this will be soon, helping out in Malawi and helping, being on the ground and actually being with these children. And so that's my third goal: helping out in Malawi, in impoverished communities, and then teaching them, empowering the leaders there, in whatever capacity they're leading people, to lead with passion, to lead and impart in the next generation. So skills-based education centers where children can be taught a skill, and leaders also, like a leadership academy, even in impoverished communities, where they learn leadership, and then they're able to take these skills and go and teach others. So they're the three important things that, yes, that if I could dream of. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that vision. It's bold, heartfelt, and needed.
Thank you.
Yeah. As we come toward the end of this beautiful conversation, I would like to ask you something special. Countless women would watch your interview, looking for a spark of hope, strength, or direction. So please share your message of success for women in general and women entrepreneurs in particular. You don't know, someone out there might pick threads of inspiration from your life story or from your words and weave their own success stories in the future.
Thank you so much. The first thing is, have a dream. And with that dream, make sure you write it down and set goals, long-term goals, short-term goals. Because if the vision is not written down, it's not clear. And if you do not have a dream, you've got nothing that you can look on and push yourself to achieve. And with that, have a why. Why are you doing this? What makes you get out of bed every single day? And if your why is strong enough, even if storms come, even if challenges come, even whatever comes your way, your why will keep on making you go forward. Your why will keep on making you improve yourself. Go and learn a skill. Sometimes we are limited by the knowledge that we do not have. So you go and learn a skill. And nowadays, just Google itself is a very powerful tool. You can research with AI that is there. There is no longer any limitation to getting information. Research and get that valid knowledge. Have a mentor. Mentorship is very important. People that you can look at that inspire you to do greater. And education and knowledge is power. Get access to education. There's so many ways nowadays of gaining education. And so this is just brief and short and sweet, but education is powerful. Information and knowledge is something that can never be taken away from you, and it's a seed that will echo into the next generations. And I would like to put an emphasis on this: is have a dream. Have a dream, write it down, make it plain, make it clear. I have a vision board, but I also have my long-term, short-term goals that are clearly written. So I know where I am every single day, every minute of my time is accounted for. If you want to achieve big, you have to put in effort. So your habits will be the direct product of what you achieve. If you have poor habits, you will have poor achievements. But if you have good, consistent habits, those habits will then grow into great achievements. So thank you so much for this opportunity to share that. As I'm so passionate about dreaming and having dreams, setting goals, and yes, some of the dreams that I've written down have actually I've achieved them later on in my life. I had it where we're living right now. I had a dream that I wanted to be surrounded in a place which was surrounded by water. I wanted to be in a place where when I wake up in the morning, I feel inspired. I wanted to be in a place where people come and visit me and they feel inspired. When people come into my home, when they feel down, when they feel like they've lost hope, they are inspired again. And over the years, exactly what I dreamed of has come to pass. When I was younger, I wanted to be a beauty queen. I wanted to be an ambassador. And these are dreams that I've written down and kept locked away inside of my heart. And they have then come along. I saw myself on big platforms where I was then able to be on WGF in Dubai. That was a dream that I had written down. So have a vision, write it down, make it clear. And it should be clear that even the steps, if you, for instance, you want to buy a house, know the location where you want to buy this house. You want to own a business, know where you want to have this business. And in business world, it's called a business plan. Have a clear business plan that projects 10 years from now where you want your business to be. And you will see yourself developing the necessary habits that need for your life to align with that path. Thank you.
Ambassador Yeukai, you are truly inspiring.
Thank
Your,
you.
your strength, your vision, and your deep compassion for others shine through every word you have shared today.
Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute honor speaking with you. From your medical journey to your charitable mission and your global advocacy, your story is a beautiful blend of resilience, grace, and purpose. All of us here at the World Growth Forums wish you continued success in your journey. May all your efforts bring hope, mobility, and dignity to many more lives around the world. I'm sure your story, your book, and your mission will definitely inspire countless people to rise beyond their limitations and create change, not only for themselves, but for their communities. Lots of hugs for talking to me, and
Thank you so much.
big thank yous from the entire World Growth Forums team.
Thank you
Take
so
care,
much. Thank you. Bye now.
take care, and keep shining. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.